And if you're feeling down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. People all over the world join hands, start a love train. People all over the world, that's right, join hands, start a love train. Come on, Rachel. Love train. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. People all over the world join hands, start a love train. People all over the world join hands. Come on, Reverend Susan. Start a love train. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love. Let's give some to Fuji in your heart. You're looking good. Oh, you think we're gonna let you catch your breath? Oh, yeah. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go there. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go.
Who needs my love today?
Oh Lord, speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I share today?
Sweet Spirit,
How can I share today?
oh Lord,
Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Sweet Spirit, how can I serve today? Oh Lord, speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Yes, all my blessings.
God gives me everything I need.
God is my source, God is my power, yeah. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
There is a space in my heart where I can find the truth. I find me in you, a truth
Sing along with
beyond
us now.
what you can see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now.
Come on now.
Welcome to love. Welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. Be who you are. Let your light shine.
go. Trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart.
No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out. Slowly feel all that's around. All that you feel, all that you know, let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we you are. You are welcome here. Love is peace welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here. Yes, please be seated. Connect, grow, serve, and give. Living a life where you belong. Connect, grow, serve, and give. Loving everyone. You belong. You belong. Yeah. So we have t-shirts to prove it. Please welcome Reverend Susan Zoller.
A gracious and glorious good morning to you. You look so good. Hold on a second. That's how much I missed y'all. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Susan Zoller. I'm a member of the ministerial team here, and I'm a member here at the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta since 1985. You might be thinking she's a slow learner. We are a center that educates and engages the seeker on their spiritual path, and as a member of the global community and movement, Centers for Spiritual Living, our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, and our vision is a world that works for everyone. We're grateful for your presence this morning. Thank you for being here. I'd like to tell you what we believe. We used to do this as a call and response, but you just get to listen now. How I choose to think creates my personal experience. Therefore, I choose to think affirmatively. I choose to speak affirmatively. I choose to live affirmatively. Not only is this my right, it is my responsibility as a conscious being. I allow myself to be guided, used, and available for the reawakening of everyone's magnificence. The moment is now, and I say yes, and so it is. Well, y'all didn't follow instructions. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, everyone. It is so good to see you all's faces. I am grateful to be back. Wow, it feels so good to be here with you all. Literally, I've been waiting for this moment for a while. So thank you. Thank you. So hello again, I am Jamel Morris, and I'm a member of the Creative Arts team at SLCA, and I wanted to tell you all about some exciting opportunities to connect, grow, give at our center, All right, so we are back. It has been 16 months. Quite some time, right? My, how time flies. Since we've met in person. And we miss you. I've missed you. Each and every one of you. For those of you watching at home, welcome. Welcome back. We're glad to see you. All right. I want to thank each and every one of you that have faithfully given to SLCA. It is greatly appreciated. Your contributions have helped our center tremendously. To find out how to give, visit our website at slca.com/donations. Or if you're really tech savvy, you can give through text. And you can text 404-800-9467. All right? Meditation. Who needs some meditation? I do. We all do. Meditation has proven to help both our mental and physical being, and it does help. I meditate every day. Join Reverend Ursula Latine every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. for Twin Hearts Meditation. All right, be there this Tuesday at 7. We also have Adult Study, which happens every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Zoom. Got to get here a couple minutes early, but it's worth it. This practitioner-led group comes together each week to explore the daily readings of the Science of Mind magazine, which is a great magazine, and some of our members here are featured in that magazine, so you definitely want to check it out. Next, let's get excited about this. You want to join our very own Reverend Dr. Alexander as our facilitator on an 8-week journey to examine the gems of truth from Eddie Glaude Jr.'s recent book, Begin Again. It's a biography and literary analysis of James Baldwin's life and writings. This is a weekly Zoom class that starts July 7th. That's this Wednesday. To register for each of these opportunities, please visit our website at slca.com. All right. So SLCA and UUCA have teamed up to do a monthly food drive in the SLCA parking lot. The next drive is for both pets and people. It will be held July 11th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. All non-perishables are needed, and it's requested that no items be brought or donated that are in glass containers. No glass. Next, we have Centers for Spiritual Living is currently in the middle of a capital campaign to raise funds to purchase Cedar Ridge Camp for a camp and retreat center. I think that is very necessary. I'm reminded back maybe a few years ago when I did the practitioner and choir retreat at Callaway Gardens. It was amazing. So to have our very own, I think it'd be pretty dope. So SLC has donated $5,000 to this campaign, and we ask you all to consider contributing to this wonderful opportunity to invest in the future of CSL. Come on, you all, let's give. Please make sure that when you give, designate Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta as your home center for donations, if you could. All right, as we get ready to conclude, we have another option here. We will be selling some amazing shirts. I mean, look around for a moment. Look around. Look around at these amazing, beautiful shirts that we have here. Yes, yes, yes. I love our models, right? These shirts will be selling in the back. The You Belong shirts will be in the back after service. Once you select your shirt, you can purchase by using the link on our digital program. So there's a program on the back on the table, and you'll see that, and you just scan it with your phone, very nice and easy. and you can pay that way. And if not, someone will be back there to help you and assist you. Lastly, practitioners are available this morning for prayer after service. Prayer changes things. We all could use some prayer. So at the end of service, if you would like some prayer, please see one of our practitioners at the end of service. Thank you all, and get ready for an amazing service.
Thank you, Jamel.
Turning back. What a moment. You have brought me through such a freedom. I have found in you, you're the healer who makes all things new. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not going back, I'm moving ahead. I'm here to declare to you, my past is over in you. All things are made new. Surrendered my life and I'm moving forward. Oh, I've risen with all power in my hands. You have given me a second chance. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm not going back, I'm moving ahead. I'm here to declare to you, my past is over in you. All things are made new. Surrendered my life and I'm moving. I'm not going back, I'm moving ahead. I'm here to declare to you, my past is over in you. All things are made new. Surrendered my life and I'm moving forward. Gotta move forward. Follow you forward. You make all things new. Yes, you make all things new, and I will follow you forward. Never gonna turn around. You make all things new. Yes, you make all things new, and I will follow you forward. You make all things new, and you make all things new, and I will follow you forward.
Our wonderful music team, Chris and Rachel.
I am truly grateful to be here today, and I'm truly grateful to every person who kept this center alive during this last time when we were not meeting. My sincere and heartfelt thank you to those, to our music team, to our wonderful Reverend David, to Jean, to Shannon, to all the people who have done so much, truly from my heart. And I know that all things are made new, but I think of today as coming home. And I'd like to share a few of the words as it was written by Stephen Sondheim, just a few. When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home. I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. Wind that makes the tall grass bend into leaning. Suddenly the raindrops that fall have a meaning, sprinkling the scene, making it all clean. Maybe there's a chance for me to go back. Now that I have some direction, it sure would be nice to be home where there's love and affection. And just maybe I can convince time to slow up, giving me enough time in my life to grow up. Time be my friend. Let me start again. Living here in this brand new world might be a fantasy, oh, but it taught me to love. So it's real to me. And I've learned that we must look inside our hearts to find a world full of love like yours, like mine. I would like to use a prayer. I know what I'm doing. I would like to say a prayer that we use, if you're unfamiliar here. It's called Spiritual Mind Treatment. What it is a declarative prayer. It does not ask, it does not plead. In the tradition of Jesus the Christ and many of the masters, we speak our word giving thanks, knowing it is already done. So if you like, you can close your eyes. You don't have to. No one's watching. And just take this in. Just take a moment and just breathe. This is what I know, and I know that I know it. We are here for a powerful purpose this morning. We are here to remember the truth of our being. And the truth is that there is a power in this universe. There is an intelligence called by many names. I am, you are, everything is of this power. We are not separate. We are walking in an ocean of this spirit, this so-called God. And I am so grateful to be home. And I think of those who have not felt at home, no matter how much time they spent there in the last while. And I know for each person here right now, and those beyond the sound of my voice, that there is a home to be found within. I declare that home within me and possible for every person to experience. Becoming quiet, knowing something greater. I know this center is a beacon of light in this city of Atlanta and to the entire world. And that which we bring to this center radiates far beyond our world. We are part of the entire universe, the fabric of it. And we know something wonderful. And we live from that something wonderful. And we create something wonderful. And while things have perhaps appeared challenging, I know that the best is yet to come is not a trite saying. It is the truth. So I choose thoughts right now that uphold my highest good. I know the truth for every person I meet, no matter how much they may seem differently. I know they too are a creation of the Most High. And I rejoice in this center. And as we grow and increase, I'm so grateful. So very grateful. So I simply say thank you. Thank you for all that we know, for all that we teach, for all that are here. Namaste. Aloha. Blessed be. And And so it is.
With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now I create. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. It's so beautiful. Thanks for lifting us up, everyone. Thank you so much.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, SLCA family. Wow. Look at you. You look good. This is a lot different than my home office. Staring at a screen. Like that doesn't happen in my home office. So many things I want to. I have a list of, without making this speaker squeak, some additional acknowledgments here. A couple of changes we've done. Put me down on the floor because I'm too tall for these speakers to be up there. And a couple other things. Everything is touchless here. So your Sunday program, QR code when you walk in, scan it. Sunday program, all the announcements, everything you need right on your phone. The flyers on the wall. No more flyers handing out. We're saving the printing costs, but also making it touchless. So just scan your phone. You go, I don't know how that QR thing works. You don't need to. Just take a picture of it. Your camera knows what to do. The QR code thing pops up the website automatically, and it's right there. If you didn't get a chance to see on your way out, you may see Will's Corner. Tribute to our beloved Will Mathis, and it says SLCA, a great place to hang your hat. One of his hats has been donated by his partner to us, and so it's there. That was one of the ways he wanted to honor Will's life, and so we tell his story here, and we tell the full story, both the sunshine and joy part of Will, and the darker side that he didn't let out to so many of us. And so on the back is the National Suicide Hotline. This remains as a tribute to him. So anybody picks it up and say, I want to know who that handsome gentleman is, or want to know what that story is, or you want to pick one up, what you're walking away with is actually a piece of pastoral care that you can give to somebody, or maybe somebody who picks it up needs that information that's on the back. So that's right there. The book Begin Again by Eddie Glaude Jr., Morehouse Man. You see him a lot on MSNBC. Amazing book. Start this Wednesday night if you want to look at the book and want to know a little bit more what it's about. James Baldwin's, the subtitle is James Baldwin's America and Its Urgent Lessons for Our Time. It's a fantastic read, and looking forward to being in that dialogue with you. So as we take a breath here. Few more things. 16 months. One of the first things we did when the pandemic hit and we shut down services in March, that we started a Wednesday program called Wellness Wednesday. It was an opportunity to connect via phone or Zoom and to check in with each other and to just be in community, make sure that we were still talking to each other and just keeping track of each other. And so that, along with our practitioners, our prayer team, led by Essie Freed, kept this community connected for 16 months. Made sure that. So a lot of love to Essie, a lot of love to our practitioners who made phone calls, to all of our pledgers and contributors to make sure that we were continuously in connection with each other. One of the greatest lessons of our time of isolation, I think, is about how connected we really are and how connected we need to be, right? We can't do this alone. Amen? So many other things. Al Dillinger and Tim Thomas, beautiful flowers from 2000 AD here this morning. Thank you so much. They're right there. We love you. We appreciate you. We have meditation cushions that have come in. We hope you're enjoying the variation of space. You can stand in the back. You can sit separate from people. You can sit close together. We're going to open up some more space, and we've got, they're not out right now, but meditation cushions. If you want to sit on the floor, you can sit on the floor. So we're going to be, we hope you like the arrangement of the new space and all of that. And let me say one last, of course, of all our board and our staff, the soon-to-be now Spiritual Leadership School graduate, soon-to-be Reverend Jean Bell, and of course, our sound and video team, CJ and Robert, and the wonderful volunteers back there. And nobody has jumped more hoops in this 16 months. New systems and new learnings, online broadcasting systems, computer from home, getting people connected, our guest speakers, our musicians, and then putting it all back together so we could be in this space. Nobody has jumped through more hoops than our executive director, Shannon Pruitt. Done an amazing job for us, and in case you did not know, he began that job as a volunteer. First 3 months of his service to us was his service to us because we were adjusting to the financial fallout of some things with the pandemic, and he worked for 3 months, maybe 4 months, I think 4, with no pay. Until we could put things together. So we're so grateful to him and for everybody. Feels good to be together, yes? Amen. Amen. So this poem I want to start out with by Starhawk. We are all longing to go home to some place we have never been, a place half remembered and half envisioned. We can only catch a glimpse of it from time to time. Community. Somewhere, there are people to whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch in our throats. Somewhere, a circle of hands will open to receive us. Eyes will light up as we enter. Voices will celebrate with us whenever we come into our own power. Community means strength that joins our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Arms to hold us when we falter. A circle of healing. A circle of friends, somewhere that we can be free. So welcome back, welcome into community. And if you would, at some point during the service, if you haven't done it already, check in on Facebook, because there are people watching us this morning from all over the country. I was just looking at the chat that is going on. Somebody watching us from Maine. Of course, we have our dedicated folks. We've picked up some pledgers and really dedicated members who consider SLCA their home from California and from Oregon and from Texas and from Missouri. We have a licensed practitioner in Kansas City, Missouri, a licensed practitioner in Chicago, Illinois. So all over the country, as we're enjoying the fact that we're in the same room together, reach out if you can and just say hello to them and thank them for being online and watching us as well, because they are part of our family now. So even as we celebrate this idea of being together in this room, we know that we are bringing a whole larger group of people together in this moment. So reach out and do that for me if you would. Take a photo by the photo wall there and tag us online, SLCA, You Belong, all of that good stuff. All right, that's enough of all that. Let's dive into it, shall we? Welcome to that circle of friends. Welcome to that place where you belong, where you can be free, where we can join our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Welcome again to Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, a place of radical inclusion, sacred belonging, and renewal, a place to connect, grow, serve, and give. Today, we begin again. One of the great quotes in this book by Eddie Glaude Jr. of the work of James Baldwin is a quote from James Baldwin that says, "All is not lost. Responsibility cannot be lost. It can only be abdicated. When one refuses abdication, one begins again." Your presence here today is a recognition of your refusing abdication. Refusing the abdication of the responsibility of what spiritual community is and how important spiritual community is in our lives. In the refusal of that abdication, we begin again as SLCA. We begin anew. With 42 years of history behind us, we begin again, and it feels so good and so right, does it not? And so I want to begin again through a way of tribute. If this is all we did this morning, I think it would suffice. I want to do what they call in the West African tradition, the Native American tradition, a libation ceremony to give honor to all that has brought us here together this morning. So we have these beautiful flowers from Tim and from Al, and some water here, the sacred thing that connects us to all life, to our bodies, and to the planet, and to everything around us. And a libation ceremony is simply for the past, the present, and the future. So as we begin with the past, 42 years of history as Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, to those who made this day possible by never giving up on the dream of spiritual community, from the Admiral Bimbo Lounge or whatever it was to the High Museum, and to the white building down the road, to this building and everything in between, and to the internet, and to boxes on our screens and in our homes, and little web cameras, and everything that has led to this moment. To those that we have lost through COVID, nearly 600,000 of our fellow citizens, to many other tragedies that have captured our hearts, we honor our ancestors today. Once again, we humbly acknowledge that we sit on the unceded territory of the Muskogee and the Creek Indians and Native peoples. We bless them and we thank them as we live out our lives of privilege on their sacred homeland. And so we pour out a libation to the ancestors. Ashe. To those among us here physically, virtually, online, and in spirit, I want you to take a moment to look around and say, who is not here? I know it's a holiday weekend, and I know we're not trying to rush anybody into anything to come back too soon, but you can see that there's space for social distancing. In my mind, I'm thinking, where's Benny? Where's Freddie? And then I looked and I said, there's Freddie. So there's Freddie. So there's one checked off my list. But I want you to do the same thing. I want you to look around and think of who did you connect with in years and months past, and invite them. Let them know that something's happening here. It is, I hope you can see, familiar yet renewed in this space energetically, and to invite them when they're ready to come in and to join us. So to those among us physically, virtually, and in spirit, y'all look good. I want to say, you don't look a day past 2019. A single one of you look a day past 2019. Today's my 2-year anniversary at SLCA. So that's 24 months, 16 of which I've been locked in my home office talking to you on a computer screen. So we're going to get back to that whole building a new community thing here in just a minute. Amen? So thank you to all of those among us, our current pledgers and contributors who have had faith in SLCA, our enduring presence and our faith. We pour out for those. Ashe. And the libations for those who are yet to come, to those who are looking for spiritual community, young and old, to our children, to our future, to the next 42 years. To those who find us through inspiration, through a reading, the Science Mind magazine. Every once in a while there's a good-looking couple on that magazine, and you think, hey, what are those people up to? I don't know what's going on there. Or maybe other important people as well. I don't know who was on the cover when my mom discovered the magazine, but something was on the cover, and it got her attention. To those who find us through a reading or a referral or something that you post online about us, and they see it and they're curious. To those who walk in the door because something drew them. We had somebody who dropped in for an event that we were doing with with John Stringer, and he just walked in off the street, and somebody had told him, "You will find your people there. You will find your tribe." And so to those who find their tribe through one way or another, and also to those who, I want to acknowledge this, to those who have tried everything else, right? I mean, a lot of us are drawn here for inspiration and for uplift and for the spiritual nourishment, but some people I want to just acknowledge, right? Because we're a happy-go-lucky place. We hold hands and sing and all of that. But some people are walking in the door because nothing else has worked. Everything has broken down. And whether it was, again, through a referral or they searched online or something in their heart said, give this a try. Before you give up completely, give this a try. Don't go before you stop here. Some people, maybe even today, are in the room with that on their hearts and minds. And to those who find us through that place, may this community give them life. May they find purpose and wind at their back, blowing into their sails and lifting them up into a new vision of what's possible for their life and for our life together. And so for all of those who are yet to come, we pour libations to them. Ashe. And as I said, if that's all we did today, I think that that would suffice to rededicate ourselves to community this morning, to the celebration. But I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the greater context that we find ourselves in and dedicate ourselves to that larger sense of national community. Independence Day, freedom, emancipation from outward control, these themes that run and dictate this celebration of a holiday, which is too often overcome with a tone of independence, meaning I can do my own thing. My wife and I just got back from a vacation, first time since we've been together without children. I heard somebody in the community in Nabila who said, parents don't go on vacation, they just take care of their kids in other cities. Which is too often the case, and every once in a while you got to do it without the kids. It feels good, and it makes coming home even better and more fulfilling. But, you know, while we had that great sense of freedom that we could wake up in the morning and do whatever it is that we wanted to do, the truth is our sense of freedom, that feeling of independence and freedom, is directly tied to and corollary to the vibration of responsibility. Your freedom is tied to the embodiment of responsibility. We were in New Orleans. We could not freely do everything that we wanted to do. We could not take the streetcar down to the Garden District because the streetcar wasn't running, right? The city's responsibility to run the streetcar. They decided to not run the streetcar for cost efficiency or whatever the COVID protocols or whatever it might be. Certain places were closed and not open because of COVID. So we didn't have the freedom to do everything that we wanted to do. We only had the freedom to do the things that were connected to someplace else where someone was taking responsibility for what was theirs to do. So our independent sense of I can do anything I want on my own is really kind of a false flag, right? What we ought to be celebrating today is our interdependence, our connection to each other. Dr. Ernest Holmes says, behind all is a unity, through all is a diversity, and saturating all is a divinity. Behind all is a unity, through all is a diversity, saturating all is a divinity. And so freedom, which has been this pull and this pull by vision for freedom throughout the history of humanity. Libraries are filled with the histories of struggles for freedom in every culture, in every era of human history. And yet, so much of it, as Dr. Holmes points out, is external. The fight between groups and nationalities and ideologies and fields of study, religion versus science, for example. If we truly wish to master the subject or even to comprehend it at a practical level, we must take the conquest for freedom inward. True freedom is neither a gift that the government can bestow, nor a weapon that ideologies can protect. Or something, I think I read that wrong, one that weapons or ideologies can protect, right? True freedom is a condition of consciousness. It's a state of mind. And all of it comes from that invisible cause that the outside is but an expression of what is happening on the inside. Dr. Holmes says, the great demand in the world today is for a sense of security as well as freedom and liberty. But we must be very certain in the experimental stages of testing what freedom is, what liberty is, that we do not exchange one form of bondage for another. In the religious and philosophical histories of the world, we discover almost invariably that when a group has substituted one kind of religion for another, it has not always worked out for the best. The Pilgrim Fathers came to the shores of New England in order to be free to worship God in their own way. But the moment they arrived, everybody in the colony found themselves compelled to worship God in a manner that the strong-minded members of the community decided was the best way to worship God. That was not freedom, nor was it spiritual liberty. It was only freedom from one idea of oppression with another being imposed in its place. We often equate freedom with the desire and the ability to do what we want and what we choose, but we must take a deeper look at that connection to responsibility. America is founded on this spiritual principle of oneness, of unity, one nation stronger than individual states tied together with a common purpose. Ernest Holmes used Jesus' words when he said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand," to emphasize the spiritual nature of this truth. America is founded on that spiritual principle of oneness. Abraham Lincoln would use the same words of Jesus, "A house divided against itself cannot stand," to support the idea of ending slavery and yet preserving the nation. As one nation, we are stronger than individual states or variety of states. The diversity of one country's people or land brings riches to our country over this 240 years. But I would be remiss if all I did was wax on poetically about patriotic themes this morning. I posted something yesterday on Facebook, and I said, I love that it's 4th of July weekend, and you've got all day to sing patriotic songs and do all of those things. As I saw even some of my colleagues with their preparations with flags and bunting and things around, and I said, you're not going to find that at SLCA. You've got all day to do that in your own way if you choose to, and I certainly honor our veterans and those that have served and the great freedoms that we experience as a country. But I would be remiss if I did not take the time to talk about the deeper meaning of freedom in terms of a liberation lens. So I turn to Frederick Douglass, his address on July 4th, 1853, in which he says, "I do not hesitate to declare with all my soul that the character and conduct of this nation will never look blacker to me than it does on this 4th of July. Whether we turn to the declarations of the past or the professions of the present, the conduct of the nation seems equally hideous and revolting. America is false to its past, false to the present, and solemnly blinds herself to be false to the future. Standing with God and the crushed and bleeding slave on this occasion, I will, in the name of humanity which is outraged, in the name of liberty which is fettered, in the name of the Constitution and the Bible which are disregarded and trampled upon, dare to call into question and to denounce with all the emphasis that I can command everything that serves to perpetuate slavery." I invite you to hear this today and just replace the word slavery with white supremacy, because we're still fighting this battle some 240 years later. So just don't worry about getting caught back in time when you read or hear this. I've posted the entire thing on Facebook. The entire address is very powerful. But replace that word slavery with white supremacy, because that is the battle that we are still in. So he says, "I dare to call into question and to denounce with all the emphasis that I command everything that serves to perpetuate white supremacy or slavery, the great sin and shame of America. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse. I will use the severest language that I can command, and yet not one word shall escape me that any man whose judgment is not blind by prejudice or who is not at heart a slaveholder shall not confess to be right and just." Oh, if I had the ability, he says, I could reach the nation's ear. I would today pour out a fiery stream of biting ridicule, blasting reproach, and withering sarcasm, and stern rebuke. For it is not the light that we need, but the fire. It is not the gentle shower, but the thunder. We need the storms and the whirlwinds and the earthquakes, the feeling that our nation must be quickened. The conscience of the nation must be roused. The propriety of the nation must be startled. And the hypocrisy of the nation must be exposed, as its crimes against God and man must be proclaimed and denounced. What, to the American slave, is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. To him, your celebration is a sham, your boasting liberty an unholy license, your national greatness a swelling vanity, your sound of rejoicings are empty and heartless, your denunciations of tyranny, brass-fronted impudence, you shout of liberty and equality, hollow mockery, your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgivings, all with your religious parades are solemnly, to him, mere bombast, fraud, deception, impiety, and hypocrisy, a thin veil to cover up crimes which would disgrace a nation of savages. There is not a nation on earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of these United States at this very hour. Why would I bring such a thing into today? Except to say that we as a spiritual community are dedicated to the liberation of all people, to the liberation of humanity, to the reawakening of humanity, to its spiritual magnificence, and the pronouncement of our freedom, the pronouncement of our liberty, the pronouncement of our independence must come with an equal forceful hand of our willingness to do the hard work to take responsibility for what that means. That's why one of the things that this pandemic time period and the 16 months has birthed is the workbook, the 12 steps of recovery from the lie of whiteness, a 12-step lens and look at the lie of whiteness and white supremacy and how we can embody a daily sense of responsibility, one step and one day at a time. And we are producing that work that I've already been asked to be a guest teacher for contemporary applications of science of mind in our ministerial school. The work is spreading throughout the country. Our release date is July 15th, so I invite you to like, share, and spread that message, because we balance our sense of wholeness, our sense of well-being, our sense of prosperity, and all of those good things that we've come to know as the principles of religious science, science of mind, and new thought, with the great responsibility of what it means to proclaim our oneness. Yes? The universal oneness must be embodied in order to be realized. For my life to be the way that I desire it to be, for America to be the country it is meant to be, for our world to be the home wherein all and everybody can flourish and thrive, we need to have a greater passion about a mightier perception of our individual and collective lives. There is a real recognition of the divinity in everything and everyone, and honoring that. How can there be any truer sense of fellowship and kinship in our experience? As long as there is an us and them, as long as there is a us over here and them over there, we have work to do. We always have work to do. And so we dedicate ourselves to doing that work one day, one step at a time. The history of America is a story told of increasing diversity of race and culture, and the history of this idea that all men are created equal, that are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness from the Declaration of Independence, is a history of laws and prevailing doctrines as increasing inclusion, not exclusion. All men in the 1770s meant that all white landowners were created equal. Gradually, sometimes very gradually, all men came to include women, came to include African Americans, came to include those with different sexual identities, came to include more and more, and there is still more work to do to create that more perfect union that all creation is created equally and are bound to those unalienable rights. And so today we hold these truths, that our freedom experience is in direct relation to our responsibility embodied. Let me say that again, that our freedom experience is in direct relation to our responsibility embodied. And if you want to be free, then help somebody else get free. And if you want to be free, then help somebody else get free. You do that in a number of ways. We've got our Will Mathis tribute cards. That's helping somebody get free. We have pledging and contributing to this spiritual community. I always like to say, when you give today, you are giving to save a seat for somebody who doesn't even yet know about this community, but 6 months from now will walk in for the first time, and they'll find a seat to sit in, and your gift today made that possible. You help somebody else get free by helping, you help yourself be free by helping somebody else get free. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that our wholeness is intact. Come on, turn and look to somebody and say, your wholeness is intact. Your wholeness is intact. Your wholeness in spirit, your wholeness in God, your wholeness in prosperity and health and abundance, all good things. Your wholeness is intact, but your journey is continuing. It's your journey with your wholeness. It's your relationship with your wholeness. It's your awakening to it. It's your remembering and your remembering and remembering again and remembering again and taking the next level and the next layer and the next step of the journey. Your journey is continuing, but the wholeness is intact no matter how far you stray. That's the story of the Good Samaritan, right? No matter how far you stray from home, your wholeness is always intact. Your goodness, your peace of mind, your sense of wholeness and connection, but your journey is continual. And finally, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that you are not alone, that there is a place where you belong. There is a place in the universe where you belong, whether that, I pray that SLCA is a part of that for you today because you're here. And for those watching, that it is SLCA. But no matter who you run into on the streets or in your workplace or in traffic, and my God, the traffic has come back. How many people want the COVID traffic without the COVID? Can we order up some of that? But that would be miracle working right there. And so let's rededicate ourselves to a deeper sense of interdependence today. Not so much independence, but a sense of interdependence, right? Declaration of interdependence. When in the course of human events it becomes obvious that the recognition of our interconnectedness of all expressions of the divine has been overlooked or misunderstood from a great number of people, it becomes necessary to declare these truths to be self-evident. We, the people of consciousness, hereby declare that there is only one indescribable infinite, and that is the creator of all that exists in this invisible and visible world. We choose to recognize this indescribable infinity as God. This indescribable infinity is the life essence of all that is, since it has created all that is from itself. It is the spirit within all things, one cosmology, which is the indescribable infinite that has been ever expressing. 2 centuries ago, our forefathers brought forth a new nation that we must now join with others to bring forward a new world. On this historic occasion, it is proper that the American people should reaffirm those principles on which the United States of America was founded and acknowledge the new crisis which confronts them, to accept new obligations which history imposes upon us, to set forth the cause which impels them to reaffirm before all people their commitment of the Declaration of Interdependence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all are created equal, that the inequalities and injustices which affect so much of the human race as the product of history and society, not of God and nature, and that people everywhere are entitled to the blessings of life and liberty, peace and security, and the realization of our full potential. That we have the inescapable moral obligation to preserve those rights for posterity, to achieve these ends, that all people in all nations of the globe should acknowledge their interdependence and join together to dedicate their minds and their hearts to the solutions and to the problems which threaten our survival. to establish a new world order of peace and compassion and justice and security, that it is essential that mankind free itself from the limitations of national prejudice and to acknowledge the forces that unite it. Let us then join together to vindicate and to realize this great truth that all of humankind is one, and that as one, we will nobly save our irreparably lost, we will nobly save or irreparably lose the heritage of thousands of years of civilization and survival. We dedicate ourselves in this moment as a spiritual community, as a family, and as citizens of one nation, and as connected brothers and sisters of one human family on this globe, that on this Independence Day, we lift our hearts into the remembering what the pandemic has taught us, that we breathe the same air, that we are all connected, that no matter how separated or isolated or socially distanced our lives become, nothing can separate us, one, from our wholeness and our truth, and two, from our responsibility and connection to each other. These things remain and endure, and it is ours to pick up the mantle of remembering these things, embodying them, and walking with them into a new creation. We dedicate ourselves today to that as a spiritual community and as a larger human family. For this and so much more, I'm truly giving thanks for this day, for this magnificent expression, and the opportunity to be in community together. And so it is. Thank you all. Peace and blessings.
You can't get a message like that just anywhere, can you? Do you appreciate what we have here? Truly appreciate. I want to invite you to think about the finances of this center, to think about the ways in which we grow and what it takes to sustain this center. Yes, this is the work of more than a village. This work is going on globally and here locally, and it takes financial support. I am firmly committed to financially supporting this center because I learned what changed my life for the better and the greater. And I invite you to think of those to come, to think of those who have been here, and to think of what you're going to receive every time you come here and have received today. And if you have a check or money to donate today, would you take it in your hand? Just take it in your hand or in your heart if it was online, wherever. If it's not money, it can be in service to the church, volunteering, whatever way you donate. And just put energy into that. See us growing and thriving. See us making a mighty difference in this world. See us touching the hearts of so many. And as you do that, I'll say our affirmation for grateful giving. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
There was a time in my life when I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at end. Now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling trying to make it through another day, you got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And